Folks, don't go away. Today we're talking about a super stubborn raptor. This feral photographer has never seen this kind of hardcore scare, and the raptor is chasing him like it's a race. The director strains to pull him up, but next, the raptor grabs him and leaves. The director panics. His eyes show regret as King Kong brings Anna to his secret base. Congratulations, you're in. Anna plays dead, dodges Kong's lunchtime, looks like he's not hungry. Kong is munching on bamboo like it's a daytime snack, and Anna sneaks away, but suddenly, OMG. Giant hand incoming. She whirls around, only to find another hand blocking her path, and it's none other than King Kong, the ruler of Skull Island. Anna retreats in panic, trips at the cliff. Kong steps back unwittingly, staring at the wise giant. Those big hands aren't interested in her as thinner. Anna instantly sparks an idea: strategy reversal. Having fought monkeys before, she decides to show her skills. Outrun? Put on a show. Kong suddenly bursts into uncontrollable laughter, treating her like a tiny toy and swinging her around. For after all, she is his very first playmate in his otherwise lonely life. This cheerful playtime is quite something, but Kong doesn't hold back and pushes Anna down again. This tires Anna out, and Kong notices she's a bit reluctant, although he might get it now. On this little island, nobody dares to say stop, and even when Kong gets mad, he knows hitting isn't right but can't find a way to release his frustration. Eventually, he lets out the anger on nearby rocks, and the throw leaves her speechless, just taking in the view down the cliff. The rock falls, hitting Kong on the head. Embarrassed by his fall, he wants to exit early. Finally, Anna spots her chance to escape, bolting into the jungle like game over. The lucky survivors find land too dangerous, so they plan to raft with trees. After tests, 9 hours before sailing, no sign of Anna. Some are getting cold feet, so they hurry back to the cargo ship while the rest paddle the raft through the swamp. Surprisingly, it's just as dangerous here. The calm lake surface is disturbed by a giant mantis shrimp. Shit grabs a stick to fight an impromptu seafood showdown. Before long, mantis shrimp swarm in, causing chaos. Thankfully, they aren't too buff. Suddenly, these shrimp sense danger and skedaddle, leaving the scene eerily quiet. Then boom, the raft gets a nudge, and a giant shadow swims. The shadow nears, bam. A crash disrupts the silence. They can't react. Yacht flips. A closer look reveals it's a massive weapon fish. Looks like they've stormed into the big fish territory, but poor Jack is dragged down by his heavy box. He looks up and sees that fish gliding toward them. In a panic, Jack wildly signals, "Don't come up, stay low." But then Lucky Dude doesn't notice Jack behind him, and bam. He gets swallowed whole by the big fish. Jack sees this and turns tail to run. However, this fish clearly doesn't want to let Jack get away, chasing him down, but he cleverly ducks through some underwater roots and narrowly escapes. All for survival, Jack abandons the box and swims up frantically, while his teammates in the water are targeted by the huge fish and can't make it to shore. The assistant clings to the camera, but the director yells at him not to drop it. Do they value the footage more than life? It's the giant fish leaps, gobbles another teammate. A quarter currents assign. You brief the director, who opens fire with full force. Unfortunately, his bullets do nothing to the big fish and instead shred his luxury yacht, sending everyone tumbling into the water. Good-hearted Jack rushes over to save the assistant, but he also crashes into the giant fish. How can such a delicacy escape today? Just when caught, the director fires, driving the big fish away. Finally, they return to shore. Poor crew members take heavy losses from the attack, but the director solemnly checks the camera, relieved to find it still works. He finally breathes a sigh of relief and decides to keep filming, but just then, the last teammate has an accident. The director captures this historic tragic moment in disbelief as the escaping team moves deeper into the forest. Up ahead, Jack hears a strange noise and signals everyone to stop. The growing sounds make the old man's fears bubble up. He suddenly shoots at the source of the noise, only to find a struggling bird on the ground in pain. The old man, unable to bear it, shoots the bird, vowing to send it to heaven. Soon, they find a cave. As they prepare to cross the wooden bridge, the first mate suddenly signals to stop, only to be met by a welcome party of ancient. The most experienced first mate cautiously approaches the cave entrance. Surprise, there's something big inside. He opens fire into the cave, finally scaring out the big guy. That's King Kong. Kong sees these uninvited guests and fumes, roaring at the first mate. He never meant to harm humans, but the first mate instinctively shoots, escalating the chaos. This is bad. Everyone screams to fire, while the director can't resist filming as the wooden bridge shakes violently. Kong slams down on the bridge in rage, shaking it like a circus gone wrong. Everyone can't even fight back. Kong puts in more force and flips the whole bridge over, sending the crew flying off.